Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome people to a little marketing masterclass today. So to give you guys an idea, we did a poll yesterday in the VIP group. The VIP group, ever since I did that last seminar, which was the 1 hour 51, showing you the most up-to-date and current online funnel, you will see that funnel being rolled out. There's no point beating around the bush. That's the exact funnel that I use myself. And I'm going to, as part of that funnel, give you guys the opportunity, along with all of the non-clients. So last week on that seminar, we had quite a few non-clients. You would have realized or recognized the numbers were a bit higher than usual. We're going to give people the opportunity to vote for what they want to talk about in these. If the same topics come up, so for you guys live and on the recording, I had over 50 people vote or something like that on the poll. Over 30% of people wanted marketing. And I know for a fact that Sherry, being with us here today, didn't vote marketing. I know that probably some other people didn't vote marketing. So if people vote for stuff and don't show up to these things, that's on them, but there will be recordings as always. And we're going to roll it like that because a lot of people will want a lot of value on specific topics. Feel free as well, guys, watching this with me live and on the recording, to add your own options into those polls. Like otherwise, there's so much I can do personally talking about marketing, sales, online stuff, different income streams, whatever those poll things might be. Don't ever, like I always say, don't ever be afraid or shy in this community, guys. You guys know that this is an amazing community. This community that has gradually been growing over the last years. Speak out, right? Speak out, get involved. When you see people get welcomed into the groups, guys, as well, welcome them. Because as you guys know, we have a family. It's always a tight-knit community in these seminars. These seminars are going to be filling up with people gradually over time. And if they're not, hell, you guys get all the value. It's just there for people to take value from. I want to feel, people welcomed into the community when they come in, because most coaches, when they go, or most clients, when they go to get a business coach, they think that I'm just like all of the rest of them. And we all know that that's not the case. So just welcome them into the community, vote on the polls, and you'll get all your questions answered in these seminars. As per usual, always, especially when we're talking about marketing today, although the main topic and the main sort of piece of value I have for everyone is going to apply to everyone, make sure you run things by me before you implement. All right. And with that being said, marketing, let's get stuck in. So I've got some really cool 2 main points today. That's it from me. 2 main points. Marketing. Has anyone got questions about marketing before we go and get stuck in? Now, Charmaine, I know we're running a strategy at the moment. Floor to the floor. This strategy is huge. It shows people how to do what every trainer does incorrectly when they get into a gym correctly. Is there any questions about that you have straight away? You're pretty good. The main thing with that one, to give you some value, use World Gym's name, right? Use their name. It is them running a competition. All right, you can run it by them if you want to, but it just looks better rather than having a personal trainer with their own brand saying, I'm running this because I want clients, right? That's how it will look. So whenever you can use a brand or, yeah, go on.
I was actually thinking, I know it's a floor to the floor exercise, but World Gym actually are very, on their social media, they like to do a lot of social media stuff on Instagram. Do you think it would be a good idea doing like a little Instagram post about it and then allowing people to comment on it to enter?
Have you seen there is an online in the portal, in that module, there is an online version of how to run the strategy. So I always recommend running it online as well as face-to-face. And especially with the amount of online stuff, of which, Sherry, we're always going to be doing. Like I said to you this morning, Sherry, always online influence in these seminars. Yeah. Everyone's online presence, that's Sherry, not Charmaine as well, by the way, just in case you thought I was calling you Sherry. Everyone's online audience is going to be growing and growing. Utilize that for any strategy that we do. Always double up any strategy. So there's a really good takeaway point, guys. Anything that you're running face-to-face, double it up and run it online, always. Always. Just be careful on that note. Be careful when you run an online strategy be careful that you don't continuously run it so that it gets milked. Because if you milk it online, well done for coming, Ems. Better late than never. When you run it continuously, you're going to find that it will be milked and that people will start to see what's going on, right? Had a conversation just to keep this rolling because I have to stick to time today, guys. And Sue and Cal, we will have a chat after this. I've budgeted time for that, but I'm just busy. I've got a lot of stuff on. Basically, I was speaking with Nathan today, great client of mine in Adelaide. For those of you who are in Adelaide on here, Zach, next Thursday, brother, if you're around, I'm in Adelaide next Thursday. If you're around. Are you around? Yeah, vox me about it, but it will have to be in the daytime. I'm there. And then Sherry, Monday, we have a date. And then Dan, funnily enough, we got a date the next week. I'm actually getting to see all you people in person. How cool is this? I was speaking with Nathan in Adelaide, and Nathan said about what Phil does with his boxes. So next marketing strategy of topic, which we always speak about, is these boxes, right? Super old school strategy, works really well everywhere you go. Nathan mentioned he was doing the 6-week giveaway. So this also kind of relates into floor to the floor as well, right? If you do a prize where it's 6 weeks, okay, any marketing strategy, or there is a duration that people are winning, one prize, right? A 6-week giveaway, a 10-week giveaway. I did a year once, never do that, by the way. Never do. I actually executed a year of free PT with someone, and they never signed up at the end of it. But don't do a year. Yeah, it was pretty bad, Ryan. I could see you feel my pain there, right? With that being said, don't do that. But when you do a prize with a duration and there's one winner, the goal of what we're doing then is we're following up people and giving them runners-up prizes. If you run these strategies continuously with a marketing loop, which a lot of you guys will know about, a lot of you won't know about, so don't stress. I'll get to that in the future with you when the time is right. Basically, it's a tool that we use to loop marketing strategies so that you have an automated sequence of strategies that you can follow without ever having to think about what strategy to run on what day and what week. It takes all the stress away. Basically, when that strategy comes around again in your loop, and then you call people with the, hey, you came in our top 10, you came in our top 10, you came in our top 10, and they notice that they're continuously coming in a top 10, they'll be able to start to read and see through your strategy. Does that make sense? Thumbs up from everyone if it does. It's very important that this makes sense. So when you're running things, floor to the floor, you have to give away a prize pack or something, but we don't run that strategy very often, right? For those of you guys that have done that multiple times as well, if you have no answers as well, some more recent value for you guys, if you get no answers and people don't respond to your texts, just say to them, and we've been doing this, I think Ems, we've been doing this recently, like send them a message just saying, hey, I've tried to get hold of you, but I'm passing your prize on. Like, I'm passing it on. Like, there's nothing bad in you ever telling people that they didn't win. Especially if Dan, for example, me and you been around the blocks with each other for well over a year now, if you start to see people's names pop up and you know they're drainers or whatever, just being polite, but some people are, there's no harm in you saying, hey, you didn't win this time, right? It actually helps you and makes it look a lot more legitimate when running any marketing strategy, which will always kind of evolve around giving away a prize or using a magnet to attract an audience and then following up with a process. So be careful when using 6 weeks and stuff like that. Lead boxes, the best artwork possible is to have free PT. That's it.
Did you do that with people that you've also like recently done consults with and that as well? If you've already done a consult with them and they haven't like signed up or anything like that in the past sort of few weeks?
What would you then, what if running the competition, let them enter it?
Like let them enter it, but just say that they hadn't.
Yeah, okay. Do the follow-up process with them and book them in for another consult.
Yeah, would you book them in for another consult if they'd had one recently, or would you just not worry about it?
So this is a great question, Tano. So you can use that. You could use those people as part of the statistic of you didn't win to make the strategy look very legit. It's a legit strategy anyway, but you know what I'm saying. It looks better when you actually tell people, sorry, brother, you didn't win, but you can come next time. right? Or best of luck next time. Depends how the first consult goes. If you're finding that those people are actually engaged and they're on the edge, then a second one, a couple weeks later, it might just be the nail in the coffin that they need, bro.
Yeah, sweet.
And it's that simple. While I just remember this, because I will forget, I don't know whether you have a baggage allowance, but Dan and Sherry, these are lead boxes. I don't need them. And I have a shit ton of pens as well. I don't need them. So if you want to, and you can fit them in your suitcase, there's one here for you, and then there's another one here for you, Sherry. So I got gifts today for people. If you want them, you can take them, because they're fucking taking up my foot space under my desk here. And I don't like boxes. I'm sick of the site after moving them. So yeah, there you go. Side note, giving away marketing.
It just forced me to get more of them out. It's good.
Yes, 100%. That's what I'm saying. And Sherry will be using these. So two of the most appropriate people to be coming and seeing me in person with relevant gifts. Turning into opera. I fucking am. Ellen DeGeneres, although I'm not a big fan of Ellen DeGeneres. That's a different story. All right, where we go? So let's talk about marketing. So we've focused on a few things there. Floor to the floor, some little tweaks and tips. Also there, lead boxes, right? Tweaks and tips. Free PT. Give people what they claim. That's the biggest tip I can give you. Don't try and trick people too much with luring, because it is like the bigger the prize, the bigger the response. But don't try and trick people too hard. Yeah, like with lead boxes, statistically over the years, the best is free PT. You put your name in, you call them, you claim free PT. Here it is. Let's get you booked in. Not the whole scripts of, because a lot of people continuously put their entries in to win something. And then if they don't win the main prize, as some of you guys probably dealt with that before, if you don't win the main prize, they don't want anything to do with you. So just basically put it as free PT. You put your names in and you claim it, and that's it. Okay, everything. Let me get my note up here. When I was on fire, my brain was functioning this morning. Everything with marketing, guys, leads to one thing, right? And this is kind of the biggest marketing strategy. I would say the strategist. You'll see what I mean in a second. All flows down from one thing. What do you think that one thing is? And when I say strategist, it's kind of giving you a bit of a pointer. Every single marketing strategy is pointless. And I'm glad I found this within my brain today to deliver for you. It's all pointless. A lot of people are going to be like wanting to watch this recording because they want to see all my secret marketing strategies. Yeah. Now, we've already discussed 2 or 3. All right. But what do you think without? All marketing is pointless. And I'm going to really shine some light on this today. And we've talked about it before, but today's going to be a big focus on it. Has anyone got any ideas? And it's not a strategy. Something or somebody is a strategist. It's a person. Without someone, all marketing is pointless. Someone just pointed at the camera. Is that you, Ems? Were you pointing at me, or is it, it's not me? It's not me. I'm not there. You're more important than me, guys. Without you, there's the answer. So the strategists, yeah, you guys, right? Let me explain my method to the madness, right? Every single marketing strategy, every single structure in your business, everything stems down from the top. You're the brain of the organization, all right, and I'm your second brain, obviously feeding your brains with the ideas and knowledge to fast track success with minimal failure, right? Think about it like this, though. Everything comes down to you. If you're not getting people results, if you're not dedicated, if you're a shit trainer, of which this industry is filled with, all of your marketing strategies are never going to work. I've worked with people like this over the years, and all they'll do is play the blame game. I'm lucky enough now to not have one client like this. I don't have any client that will blame a strategy. I can guarantee you right now, if I spoke to Shay one-on-one and we spoke about what we've been speaking about, he'll hold his fucking hand up and say, my time management can get better. If I speak to Dan and talk about his boxes that I'm now having to give to him so that he just fucking takes some more action. No, but if I spoke about that, he would say, I don't order the fucking boxes, right? if I speak to Tane about anything, well, we've got people that we're battling against on a different level, bro. But anyway, same sort of shit. You guys take responsibility. The point I'm trying to make is this. The main marketing strategy that anybody, whether you're online or face-to-face, can have and run is you being the best version of yourself as a trainer and delivering on your freaking promise to every single person that works with you. If you do not do this, now I had a message from somebody this week that prompted me to think like this. He said, bro, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he won't mind me talking about it. He said, bro, I need some motivation to get my clients results. I said, are you fucking kidding me? If you ever think like that, you're fighting a losing battle, right? And let's just say, I think his motivation turned around pretty quickly, so it worked. But you have to be getting people results. That is the biggest marketing strategy, guys. Because think about it, whether you like it or not, right? Like we've talked about it loads of times on social media, you can't tell how many people scroll past or look at your content. You can't see it. Whether you like it or not, people are taking notice, and that is done, excuse me, most of the time in their subconscious mind, which they can't control, which we talk about a lot recently, of how to try and give you an insight into how to see how people's subconscious minds work. They are taking notice, but what they are taking notice of is, again, things like what we've discussed recently as part of the funnel last week, and in an online seminar, which I think you would love, Sherry, particularly a few weeks ago, online about like content collection. I think you were there for that one anyway, but they're taking note of your results, which are a reflection of, again, you coming up to the top of the pyramid. You've got to be getting them, guys. You've got to be getting them. Now, I was speaking this morning with Dan Pardo about like whether to post 15 to 20 ripper, right? Although they're not finished transformations. And I said, bro, I recommend breaking them down. Like that sort of social proof to, I could guarantee right now here on this call, there is at least nearly 50% of you that if I said 20 before and after, like recent progress photos, right, or transformations, I can guarantee you probably wouldn't have them. And that's not a bad thing, but that's like even elite trainers, great trainers that all of you guys are, a lot of you won't have. And the point I'm making here is with Dan, I said, bro, break it down, individualize each story, make your content last. But Dan wanted to do it differently, and we've got a solution, and that's the main thing. Point being, you need to have this sort of content. And you can see I'm kind of going off down a wormhole of like, capture the results, get the social proof. Like we've talked about you being the driving force of everything and making sure you're doing all this. It's essential. And like, I don't think there's any coaches out there that actually amplify what we're speaking about right now to this level, where it's kind of expected that trainers take before photos. But has anyone ever had resistance around taking before photos? I fucking definitely have as a trainer. So I like, because, and then it's like, oh yeah, well, Simon, what about this person, you know, they were insecure, and that's completely fine. Who would want to get their kit off in front of someone they barely know, right? Down into their boxer shorts or into their sports bra and leggings or whatever, when they're 150 kilos, right? So this stuff today, I really want to shine the light on the fact that, you know, we need to speak about this stuff. And if there's insecurities that stop you from being the biggest marketing strategy at the top of the pyramid, we got to get it off our chest. So with that being said, before point number 2, does that make sense to everyone? You are the most important marketing strategy. Now, questions with that? Yes.
Yeah, I do have a question.
Yeah.
So I find like there's certain clients, and I don't know, maybe these guys have feedback for that, but if they're not committed on the outside of the gym, it's very hard to get results.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating. And part of it is like, well, if you're not committed, part of me just wants to be like, don't come, like, don't waste your time, don't waste mine. But then that's not necessarily the best approach, but I'm not sure. To be honest with you, there's like frustration, but then it's like, you know, you have some that are great, and then you have those that they're not committed. They're just not committed.
Look, what you said there, honestly, Sue, it summarizes the fitness industry in a very well put sentence. You are like, you're dealing with people's emotions, right? I'm very, very, very rarely emotionally, well, physically unstable. I think those of you that saw me last week, I was like, I literally looked like I've lost 10 kilos in a week. Like that's how fucked I was, right? But like, that's me. And that's someone who's strong. Sue, what you guys are dealing with, and every one of you, you're dealing with emotions, you're dealing with timings of things that are going on in people's lives, like moving house, like relocations, like passings in families. This is all stuff that you've got to be aware of, and you've got to communicate. You've got to be a great communicator, right? You got to also recognize triggers. Man, hopefully I'm kind of making some sort of sense. It's like when I speak to so many people, I've got to go from someone who's like on such a motivated wavelength down to someone's just had a passing in the family, or someone's just lost half their business to no fault of their own. You guys have got to be aware to that. And what you've got to kind of do really is, it relates to my Facebook post I put up yesterday. Did you see that post I put up yesterday, the screenshot, Sue and Cal? So one of my guys in the UK put up a screenshot, and it basically says, like, I knew I invested in the right coach. Like he said, most motherfuckers would have left me by now. You're invested in the growth. That's what he said. So what I'm saying to you, and this is my experience, never quit on your clients, ever. You quit on your clients, no one, I won't ever quit on any one of you guys. Every single one of you guys will quit before me. I guarantee it. That's just how I just know, right? So what my advice would be is, like, don't pour too much into these guys that you're caring too much about their goals more than they care about themselves. That's huge, because that's detrimental to your own headspace. And I've learned massively throughout the years about that. So I would always say, don't overindulge into headspace and mental territory more than the client does. But you've got to motivate them. Yes, Charmaine.
I've actually had a long-term client stay with me for about a year, and all she literally wanted was to turn up to PT and to be told what to do. She didn't want the nutrition side of things. She didn't want to do her check-ins, but she was a long-term client. So sometimes I think we need to see what their actual goals are, where they're wanting to take that process as well. And if it's awesome to do that, then they're going to run the other way as well.
100%. Rye, was it you? It was you, Rye, wasn't it? Who said, I've got a client. They don't want nothing. It was you, wasn't it? I remember the conversation. You can relate fully to this, right? Can you just tell us briefly in 10 seconds or so what that was that this client said to you they wanted?
Yeah. So they didn't want to do the check-ins. They didn't want to do photos. They're super insecure about it. I get it. It's okay. And we had a discussion about it. And I think we kind of came to the point where there's a breaking point. There's a threshold where it's like, you got to help them where you can. You got to meet them at their level. So that's kind of what I'm trying to work through with them right now. It's like, well, what can you do? What are you comfortable with? Let's work from there. Yeah. So that's kind of what I decided to go with there.
Love it. And basically that was the same thing. This guy didn't want, like I said, didn't want all that stuff. Recognize it and don't ram it down people's throats. These weekly check-ins that I send you guys, they're there for two things. Accountability, but I give you that every day with voice message anyway. But it's mainly so that we don't have to listen back to freaking 15 minutes of dialogue just to remember what the main thing is we are focusing on right now. That's what it's for. And if the main thing that these guys want to focus on is not what you want to offer, but they're saying, hey, I want a dope trainer, Ryan, you're that trainer, Charmaine, you're that trainer, Sue, you're that trainer, give them that and just say, no worries. But I'm just telling you, just pre-frame it, like with no nutrition and stuff like that. Like, I'm just saying we could do better, but yeah, right.
And one thing I did kind of say is like, hey, for now, we'll stick with this. We'll kind of see how it goes, right? But I also kind of told them I've had a lot of clients kind of been in your shoes, and they kind of come to some sort of breaking point, whether it's a health issue or something going on with a family member or something, where they're like, oh shoot, okay, now I actually do need to do something. And they'll kind of change their mind, and they've made the changes. They start tracking food, they start doing the progress photos, and that's where they start seeing a real kind of change. So I will kind of say that to them and kind of let them know, hey, let's try to revisit this maybe a little bit later in the future.
You're so right. Like I spoke to a great client today in Queensland, similar sort of thing. And I'm like, look, she doesn't need to continue. She's just got to a point where she's at about 150K, 125K. She's ready to go second agreement and to leverage her business. and she's just realized that she doesn't want to. That's freaking fine. That's completely fine. So, but what I said to her is this: I know for a fact that when you continue with the workload that you've got on your plate, right? Which again, Tom's not here today. That's actually quite rare. Tom Rose, I was speaking to you guys about Tom Rose constantly applying pressure, even though she's fully booked. Does anyone remember I was saying that over the last couple of webinars, and that's how she stayed? Michael, you would have remembered. But basically, this client, I said, because she's got a track record of put the foot down, take it off. Put the foot down, take it off, right? I said, I know for a fact you're going to get to a point where right now she's putting her foot down, and what's happening? Ironically, she signed up 7 or 8 sessions, or 5 or 6 or 7 sessions this week. I know for a fact that there will come a time where business owners like Ryan and like Charmaine's clients they've dealt with will always want to change. Guaranteed. Whether it's a year or 5 years or a month or 1 day, you will want to take the next step because you get bored. And that's why, like, different level for me, but to give you guys into like what inspires and drives me, I don't need to do what I do in life. Most people, like the stress that I'm putting myself under, Charmaine and Mike, we were talking about before, I've got different cars. I can just drive a different car. I don't want to drive a different car. So I put myself under the fucking pressure. In terms of like, this is like people that build portfolios of properties. And I'll be open. It's something I hope I can coach lots of you guys to replicate. Charmaine just sold a property. Dan, you got property. I don't know anyone else's like personal stories, but again, I don't need to buy more properties. But I tell you what, I'm fucking bored, man. If I don't, I like it. I thrive off it. So what that is it's not me saying, look at how many properties I've got. I've just told you, I only do it because I'm bored, right? I need.
So you're financially free then?
Look, I'll never, look, it depends what, it's an interesting one. It depends what people deem as financially free. I'm broke. I'm broke as shit.
Cash flow book.
Cash flow book. Oh, okay, the cash flow quadrant. I'm nowhere near financially free. No, not in that, no way. Hell no. But a lot of people would love to achieve what I've achieved in a lifetime. And that's just being honest. But like, here's the thing. I get bored, and therefore, like, you chase stimulation. So whatever stimulates you, right? Whatever marketing strategy, bringing it back to the focus of the topic of the seminar today, whatever marketing strategy stimulates your peak of the pyramid, you to take the most amount of action so that you get the results, the dopamine release in the brain that you get of success when you achieve something. It makes you feel good, right? That's what you've got to do. That's what you've got to do. But it's always going to stem down to, like, back to what we were saying, Sue, a couple of questions ago, is like, sometimes you've got to put work into people that really, they don't deserve it. I'll be honest with you, they can drain you, but you're doing it for the greater good. And the reason why is, for example, why I posted yesterday, that social proof, right? I post that because I know that hundreds and hundreds of people that are following me, but they're the invisible audience, right? So they're invisible. They're not commenting, liking, sharing, tagging. They're seeing, and that sort of thing, it results in, you know, inbound DMs in a few days' time.
Okay,
So
I needed that. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So we'll continue on here with this next point that I've got here. This is something that I think a lot of you guys, we never talked about this in an open forum. And I think, again, because we're talking about the peak of the pyramid today, rather than individualizing any strategy that a lot of you guys have heard loads about, right? Like lead boxes, 20 times we speak about them, making it about you. I've never discussed this openly, but individually I have. Why you being the best strategy can be hard to market, right? We've talked about lots of external forces that sometimes you have to deal with, life, cars, or moving, like we did this before. The toughest part of being an entrepreneur, some of you guys wouldn't have heard this, I think I may have said this to you this morning, Rye, and I think this is what prompted me to write this down here. I think this is what I was saying, I think, was that the toughest time of being an entrepreneur in a bracket, within a cash flow bracket. Yeah. So the toughest time of being a sole trader. So not like Sue and Kelly, where there's 2 of them, not like where Magnum has Shay and multiple trainers, Dan, multiple trainers, right? Not like that, right? Sole trader. It's between around about, you can put it to a cash flow bracket of about 80K to 120K. So anywhere from around about $1,600 to roughly about 2,400 to 2.5K, roughly, right? And the reason why this is so important is because it gets demanding. So you being the main marketing strategy, when you have that level of workload around that 100K mark, and it's not like this 100, you know, all coaches are, oh, 100K, get you to 100K. And even I say that, like we go 100K in 4 weeks. This isn't actually part to do with the 100K. It's just a timing thing. And ironically, the timing is at around 100K. You have to take all the sessions. You've got to do all of this. You have to be getting your clients results, which takes willpower, because like we've just discussed with Sue and Charmaine and Rye, like some people want it, some people don't. So then you've got to keep giving. It's freaking hard work. Then you might have things like study, which Kel can relate to, right? You got all these other external forces. Then you might move house like I did, like Charmaine's do at the moment. Then you might have things with your kids that lots of us here on this call have got. You got to deal with them. Basically, what I'm getting to a point of here is that between this wage bracket of 80 to 125K, you've got to do all the work. You've got to continuously drive the business forward. Otherwise, you're taking your foot off the pedal and it's going to go backwards. Therefore, it can be tough to deliver at a high level. I'm trying to program and work side by side individually and in a group format with all you guys to work at a high level in the fitness industry. This isn't just like cut it, we just got to cut it. This is like elite level. Like I'm trying to tell you guys how to be the best and how to take the most amount of care within your clients. So therefore, just basically, I want to say that you're all amazing and life gets in the way. Recognize this sometimes. Charmaine, I think I said something to you this morning about the timing of running the strategy. It's not right. Just be weary and be ready to give yourself some slack sometimes. Take rests when needed. Because here's the thing as well, if you're trying to drive an actual marketing strategy, right? Like a floor to the floor, like a lead boxes, like referral campaigns or whatever we're doing, or any online strategy. If you try and do that while being in that bracket, but also under a ton of external forces, you'll find that ironically that strategy that normally generates you 60 leads like that, it just won't generate you anything. And it's not because of you, it's just because of the point in time that you are at. So I wanted to make that point. The point in time is quite a deep point to make with you guys, but the point in time of where you're at. Kelly and Sue, we talked about obviously Costco, right? That building, right? You guys getting a bigger facility to help more people fronted. The right time, man. It's like might not be the right time, right? What's up, little man? Hi, buddy. But you know what I'm saying? It's not the right time sometimes. Expansion, hiring trainers, going into other locations, rather than put yourself under immense pressure. I think it's one of the biggest life lessons, really, as well as a marketing and business lesson, is recognize we're all human and that you will have down days. Some of my biggest clients at the moment are having fucking big down days, right? Fucking hard times, like hard times, challenging, high back. Yeah, like it's hard, man. So don't put pressure on yourself. But if I was going to say there is one unforgivable amount of pressure you do need to put on yourself, it's pressure to perform for your clients and to get them what they fucking pay for. Because if they don't get that, they're gone. And then you'll think it's my price point, or it's this, it's that. It's not. It's because they're not getting what they're paying for. And it's that simple, right? So there's some advice with that. Doing really, really good for time here as well, which is good. But questions on that main thing. You are the main product, but it can be hard sometimes. I'm more than happy to delve into some more individual marketing strategies. Obviously, everyone who's here today, you're all working with me. So if you've got any strategies at the moment you want to discuss, let me know. Yeah, but hopefully that made sense. Like, and I think it's really good. I've got a good select sort of 12 of you guys here today that I'm really glad that are here to listen to that, because yeah, it's quite deep, but you got a lot of shit that's going on. And this is a prime example of why you come. Look at what you're going through right now. You go through massive, so just like Charmaine relocated from Brisbane to the coast, right? You guys are competing with an extremely toxic housing market up there. The real estate market in there, I don't even know like why it is. Like, I know it's a cool place and all, but like, what the fucking draw card is where people are paying like over $1.5 million for shit kips. Like, I really don't understand what they, and look at Kelly's face says it all with that. Like, I'm not joking. This place in the central coast, or the sunny coast, sorry, is yeah, it's crazy. Think about the outside pools that you've all got going on. Yeah, just sometimes take a step back. I think this seminar for me today has actually been nice to take a step back before I go and deal with these car troubles and mechanics and moving, and you know what I mean. But yeah, questions. We'll Q&A it now, guys. Otherwise, if there is no questions, we will wrap it here, and this will be a fucking world record in terms of the seminar. But like, yeah, hopefully that's all hit home with you guys. I love you all, obviously, and I want to you know, obviously give you some additional value, which I think I've done. Hit first target this morning. What's that, Ems? I know you're a mouthful of food, but we're all family here. Hang on, I think I can unmute you. I'm gonna ask to unmute. There you go.
Hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. So sign up another 2 this morning and hit my first target. So yeah.
Done.
They're all most of them are silvers, but I've got my gold from the other gym and one bronze sort of pack. But yeah, first target hit. So that's freaking awesome. Making that change was the way to go.
Yeah, that 100%. Well, that seminar, the sales seminar. So again, you've game changer. Like, for anyone watching replay here, or for those of you who are attending that don't normally attend, but all you guys pretty much do, just freaking attend these things. Like, if has anyone taken away one thing today? One thing.
Try to not feel guilty for taking a little bit of time off. Yeah,
fucking oath. Like I'm telling you, like, if you come to these things, you take away one thing. Em's had that last week with the seminar of which she watched the recording of on sales, and because of that, has now added 500 weekly reoccurring income to the business, $2,000 a month in 2 or 3 days. Like, it comes down to just being present and attending and just being around people like this. So well done, Ems. Well done. Round of applause again for Ems. Well done. Awesome. Keep it going. That's what we want to keep it doing. Keep it going. But yeah, marketing. Anything about anyone? Dan, you always got questions there, bro. I can see you always you're in the zone there, bro. You got questions about where you're at or anything like that, brother? I know you're trying to lead from the front here at the moment.
Just a quick one. First of all, I want to say as well, you know, I appreciate you helping me, you know, through a tough time as well. You know,
well, you're going to say you appreciate me giving you some lead boxes, but that's all right.
Well, I haven't got them yet, so. But yeah, look, again, like that, I feel like business growth is just as much about personal growth, and now I've leveled up a lot more, and the business is reflecting that. So it's, you know, I thank you for that. Yeah. My quick question, and we can maybe go on Voxer, I just thought I'd quickly ask it now, is I'm going to couple the new trainer on the block strategy with the floor to the floor, but I was also thinking about coupling it with a bulk blast as well, just kind of really combining as much of it as possible, because I feel like this strategy will get me to that 100. Like, I'm at 94 sessions this week. I just want to kind of do another big strategy. We're going to do the before and after tonight, the announcement post for my new trainer tomorrow, and use that to kind of get some traction. Are you happy with me to combine all three of those strategies together?
This is an elite question from an elite coach. I wouldn't expect anything else. So guys, basically, compounding marketing strategies here is what we're talking about, right? So when you get to this level, so obviously you said Dan's trying to crack 100 sessions a week at the moment, so he's at 92. We're getting pretty close to it now. When you want to push and we got a goal, right? Because he's coming down to see me to collect his lead box, and we're gonna have some beers and we're gonna celebrate. So we need to get there. If you want to ever combine marketing strategies, run it past me. Bulk blasting though is 100% the best thing, the best way to put things on steroids when you are literally, you're following the processes of collecting leads and adding them to a database, right? So Sherry, yourself, Cass here, so relatively fresh starters with me, like make sure your database freaking builds. So Cass, you got a conversion as well this week, right? So obviously they're going to be, I think it was this week or last or whatever it was. All the leads that you've got so far from Good Life, you combine them and you're putting them into your business tracker. Like Dan now has a good size database. I wouldn't say monumental, but it would be, have you got over 1,000 yet?
No.
Okay.
800.
Yeah, 800. So you can get it 800 fast. I know that Magnum will have a large one. I had one at about 4,500. Bulk blasting, basically anything that you have down, the answer is yes, it's a green light. If you want to just put the message together, send it to me, I'll approve it. And just, it's a way of just advertising, right? Advertising whatever you are doing with other methods of marketing and communicating it and advertising it to a wider audience. That's what it's about. I was going to say something else on the bulk blast note for all of you guys as well. I've said to myself that I'm going to put this together at some point, and I will at some point. Bulk blasting should be done on a regular basis. Everyone knows what bulk blasting is, right? Mass text messages. Yeah. Every single time, one of my real good clients in the US, yeah, his name's Alexander Zanderjas, right? He runs a big business in LA. Like, this guy's a legend. I went and met him in person. I always think of him when I speak about this because he ran a food prep business. He was doing over 1,000 meals a week for a food prep business. So you can, if you look at like what a meal would cost you roughly on average and multiply it by 1,000, he's doing some pretty good turnover, right? Plus PT. So good sized business. I always think of U-Foods. Who here in Australia has heard of U-Foods? Yeah, every single one of you guys in Australia would have heard of U-Foods, right? If you haven't, you're living under a rock. Muscle meals, right? Core nutrition, core meals. Every single time I speak about frequent bulk blasting, these guys, and especially U-Foods, come up. Why? Because I went through a phase where I was eating U-Foods, right? I tried it out and meals are fine, it's fine. But anyway, I'm not going to go off on a rabbit hole. You stop your subscription or whatever, but you keep getting marketed to. Now, these messages that you receive, they're short, sweet, and to the point. There's nothing malice about them, so it doesn't it doesn't mean that you're going to get angry and opt out, right? So let me just have a little bit of an example of this here. So actually, I don't even need to search because there'll be one very, very recent. Okay, here we go. U-Food. So if I scroll here, you can see all these U-Foods messages I'm getting, yeah, and they're frequent. Be quick. Use your early access. Use your early access to sign up to a flexible plan and unlock up to $210 off before the plan ends. That's meals from just $4.99 a week. Go to, then there's a link. Terms and conditions apply. To opt out of SMS, to opt out of SMS, text stop to, and there's a phone number. Right? Exclusive access to our new site starts now. Get in quick, Simon. Meal ends soon. Choose your 3-meal deal. Right? These things, yes, we do use, and you are not ready for it yet. So just when you're ready, I'll have all of it for you. But we do have a software that does everything for you. This is right here, Dan, and I talked about this with Alex because I wanted him to do the same. It's always Sunday. So get this, guys. If you phone call time, right? This is maybe a big tip for you to wrap up with marketing, right? From this number, it's always on Sundays at 4, in between the hours of 4 and 4:30, 4:08, 4:24, 4:27, 4:01, right? Always Sundays. Now they do send from different numbers as well. That's a different rabbit hole altogether. We're not going to go down. But what I'm getting at here, Dan, is anything you do advertise, bulk blast it. And a bulk blast, as long as it is structured in a professional, polite, and personal way, right? You won't have, look, I mean, if you're doing things on a scale, you're always going to have haters. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't have too many people say, stop fucking messaging me, you're pissing me off, all that, whatever, right? And you shouldn't have that. When people know who you are and where you come from, what place you come from, trust me, you'll be completely fine. Bulk blast messaging should be a marketing strategy that we're using at least once a month, brother. That's the point of I'm trying to get out there. At least once a month. Michael, for you, this would be huge as well. You know, especially with Nick, it's a database and stuff like that. Like, I mean, look, it's one of these things. Do you know what I mean? We should be executing that sort of stuff. Yeah, hopefully that helps, brother. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? That was a good little finish for marketing. So if we're all good, I'm just
I had a comment about it, Simon, if that's okay. Just going back to the social proof stuff.
Yes.
I was even thinking, you know how we've all been talking about sort of recognizing when we need to take a step back so that we can make sure that we're still giving energy to our clients. And I know that some other people were speaking about with the social proof. Yes, a lot of us do have a lot of the transformational posts, which is catching on the eye if you're scrolling through.
Yeah.
If we sort of like not run out of those sorts of posts, but if we want to add in more content, could we focus on some of the clients where, you know, they aren't there necessarily for weight loss? It might be that they're there just for the accountability, or they wanted to focus on PT to get them through a tough time. Then it's sort of still got that emotional care factor. If they haven't got a transformation, then it's still showing what we're doing with our clients.
That's a great point. So what you're saying is not what, so you're saying capturing other types of social proof, not just before and afters, and still showing that off so that the clients are getting appreciation and that you're following, noticing that you're getting clients results.
Yeah.
100%. So for me, I don't have before and afters of businesses because it's measured in financial category, right? What I would, for me, I have two main types, and it's testimonials, which I have abundantly, and I have screenshots of messages in the hundreds, literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. So for you, 100%, like it doesn't have to be, look, the best form to, I can guarantee you, the best form of social proof for a PT is before and afters, and the best form of social proof for a business coach or consultant like myself is testimonial videos. If you go and ask a PT, I'll give you a day, right? I want you to prioritize this. Give me a list of every single before and after you've got. That will show you how good of a coach that coach is. You do the same thing with me with testimonial videos, I'll give you 100 at least. Like, and that right there, and that's not boasting. It's just what you should be wired to collect day in, day out from your business. Do you know what I mean? Which can be hard because sometimes you need a rest. But like I said, if there's one thing you always need to be switched on to collecting, it's social proof and delivering results for clients. So yeah, you can do it in any way that you want, Sherry, no problem. Any way that you want, ways in which you can do this. So before and afters, I saw Sue as well, did a really good video with a client. You did the whole thing recently, like when you did the selfie thing. So that's two people that have done that now. That gets, I saw the views on that were like a couple of hundred. So you can do little videos like that. You can do screenshots of messages. You can do before and after photos. You can do screenshots of trainer eyes where the chart shows downtrends in weight drop, right? That's another good one. You can do screenshots of trainer eyes with measurements and the centimeters, befores and afters of them. You can do whatever, but I mean, those sorts of things, the way the world is, people are going to say you can fake them, and they're fake. I've had people tell me that you've paid someone to say Simon Finch in a video to put that in a testimonial. I've had people say that to me. That's the way it fucking is. So think about how legitimate things are going to come across. But yeah, do it in any way you want and mix it up, Sherry, as well. The more, the better. And we'll have a good chat about this on Monday as well, or we'll catch up. Where are you staying, by the way? Are you in the city, in the CBD?
Yeah, so I'm staying with my friend in North Melbourne, so super central. Whereabouts is your office? There's what I'll take you to the office space in the city, which is on Flinders Street. Easy. Perfect. Looking forward to it.
Done. All right, guys, is any other questions with anyone else? Otherwise, I'm going to have a little bit of a chat with the girls here. Are we good? Sweet. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to end this meeting. Girls, I'll send you a link quickly on Facebook with a fresh one. Guys, amazing stuff. Remember, you are the main marketing. You are the main marketing. Collect the social proof and always look after yourselves too. Speak soon.